Hi everyone, it's Shaz with Abundant Clarity. I'd love to share some stories that happened last week. And just a quick reminder, everything that I share is just my experience, interpretation, and opinion of Ho'oponopono. Before I practiced, I attended a workshop, which I recommend, but I know people who have a lot of success without attending them. There's a link in the description below. So, the beginning of last week was intense. And this, of course, was my memory that interpreted it that way initially. And several people whom I felt connected to on a soul level didn't respond well to something I'd shared with them that I felt really passionate about. And it felt like I got punched in the gut with a gallon of shame. As uncomfortable as it was, I was present with the resistance and became aware of my desire to want to control and fix the situation. Instead, I cleaned while being with the discomfort, so many of the memories were coming up and it was difficult. The intensity lasted several days, but it felt like an eternity. And as I said, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you to myself, I began breathing more deeply. I was no longer trying to resist my feeling of shame nor make anyone wrong. Instead, I felt a deeper sense of connection to divinity, and I trusted that what I was experiencing was perfect. Even though at times the energies got so intense that I felt ill, I knew that in due time I would inevitably experience deeper levels of connection as old memories resurfaced and cleared out of my system, making space for greater clarity, peace, and abundance. So I cleaned and I felt inspired to jump on my trampoline. Practicing Ho'oponopono while moving my body has helped me feel more connected to divinity, especially during these more intense moments. And jumping also brings me to the present moment, and my day is always better when I make time to jump for joy at least 5 to 10 minutes a day. So, this is what came up while jumping and cleaning. I was triggered by old memories of shame. I blamed others for making me feel the shame, and they were just the mirror reflecting my shame that still existed within me. I realized that it wasn't about them, rather, it was about my false perception of the situation where I was blaming them for making me feel bad. As I continued to clean, my shame shifted to gratitude for these memories that were resurfacing so that I could clean and see through divine eyes again. After all, the shame was just a memory inside of me, or else how would I have perceived or have felt it? Once I realized that the trigger was just my stuff, my energy went from associating the discomfort to the individuals and bringing it back to myself and divinity to clean. I regained my sense of power. Real quick, although Ho'oponopono is powerful, it's still essential to take responsibility and do what we need to do in the moment, whether it's setting boundaries, seeking professional advice from qualified individuals, or staying away from harmful situations and people. Okay, so back to the fun stuff. This is where it gets interesting. Within 48 hours, one of the individuals that I spoke about in the beginning popped up on my social media feed. I became aware and noticed my body tense up and recoil. I cleaned and felt noticeably lighter, and to my amazement, my fiance immediately messaged me to let me know that he got his tickets to a Santana and Earth, Wind, and Fire concert that night. An interesting side note is that several months back, Jay mentioned that he wanted to see Santana. And during that conversation, we also talked about wanting to see Coldplay, The Weeknd, and Red Hot Chili Peppers without knowing their tour dates. We ended up seeing Coldplay last month, and The Weeknd and Red Hot Chili Peppers are coming this summer, so we'll hopefully be able to see them as well. And it seems that as I've made cleaning a regular practice, desires that I've held lightly and just forgot about have come into existence oftentimes on their own without me figuring it out. I ultimately clean to connect to divine within, and these gifts, like the concerts, the diamond earring reappearing, these are all just fun surprises along the way. Dr. Joe Vitale mentioned in his book, Zero Limits, that when you're at zero, which is just a state of infinite possibilities and connection to divine within, inspiration pours into your life effortlessly. Also, Dr. Hewland talked about how people don't really know when they're at zero, but I definitely, speaking from my personal experience, because that's all I can speak from, I definitely feel like things are more effortless and peaceful since I've been cleaning regularly. Okay, so back to the concert. While I cleaned and got ready for the show, this happened next. Jay called off the prenup that he had initially requested months back, and he was really adamant about it. And we had been talking about this for at least, I want to say, 3 months, and he even brought it up maybe 6 months or more ago. And he told me that he hadn't budgeted for it and he wanted to use the money for other things that were more important. And instead, he suggested that we create a simple agreement just between us and get it notarized. I was relieved to put the prenup behind us. So instead of getting a prenup, we saved lots of time, energy, and $5,000. The rest of the night was electric. We got to see the guitar legend Santana. He was amazing. And I felt like I was transported to a Ho'oponopono concert where Santana shared messages of compassion and love throughout the night. And coming from his mouth, he said, instead of spreading weapons of mass destruction, let's spread weapons of mass compassion. Also, that night, for the first time in 20 plus years that I've been attending that venue, I've never gotten to park in a regular parking lot. I'd always been directed to a dirt parking lot where I'd be inhaling dust during seemingly endless walk to the venue. And Jay's also been attending concerts longer than I have at that venue, and he's also been directed to the dirt lot as well. So it's definitely a treat to be dust free and walk half the distance that we normally have to walk. And after the concert, we got out quickly, smoothly compared to previous years where it would take us up to 45 minutes to exit the parking lot. Another fun surprise happened the next day. As I walked by my bed the following morning, I found my diamond earring that had fallen off and was missing for about a week. When I had looked for it previously, I was unable to find it. Instead, my earring appeared on its own at the divine time. I realized that allowing things to unfold naturally, like the reappearance of my earring, has been the easiest way to live. And I got that easiest way to live from Mabel Katz's personal experience that she writes about so well in her book, The Easiest Way. And it's her experience with Ho'oponopono. I highly recommend it. And, just coming back, personally, life tends to always work out for me when I clean, let go, and trust versus control and blame and hold on to old memories. So, this video serves as a reminder to me that triggers are a blessing in disguise when we clean, let go, and trust. When I initially got blasted with shame, I cleaned the old memories associated with it where miracles were able to make its way through in the form of peace, an incredible concert, my diamond earring that showed up, and no more prenup. So shame essentially went from foe to friend to abundance. And it just reminds me how powerful our minds are and that our minds create our reality. And many people have spoken about this, whether it's Dr. Hugh Len or the Buddha. And it's whether we use our free will to focus it in the magical direction or even intense triggers become our greatest allies. And I'll leave it at that. I wanted to thank all of you so much for listening. I have an amazing Ho'opono prayer that will be coming out soon. So if you're interested in listening to that, make sure to subscribe so you can stay tuned. I love you all. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Please Peace and blessings to all of you.